1, 2, 3, 4. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on. Mike and John got it going on.
We're rolling.
Fair to medium?
Yeah. Middling? Fair to middling? Yes.
We're wavering somewhere.
Yeah.
Here we go. Friday and Melon Fest weekend upon us. Saturday is going to be a big day at Melon Fest.
Yes, it is.
We can't tell you why.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the return of the parade.
Yes, it
After
is.
many years' absence, the annual tradition of the Melon Fest parade coming back Saturday, 10 till noon.
And the Shriners are going to be there.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing beats a Shriner at a parade.
Well, yeah. And as much of a spectacle as the Shriners are,
Yes.
there'll be a Mike and John spectacle.
Yes, there will. It won't be a little car, though.
No.
It would be fun for us
Yeah.
to ride around
That's
in
true.
little cars.
That's true.
Little mini cars.
Right.
little
So
bikes.
keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All day Saturday.
Yeah.
Downtown Hull.
And other places.
That too. Maybe even
Yeah.
Brighton. Who knows?
Well, who knows?
You never know
Who
where we're going to
knows?
show up.
Yeah.
We don't even know when we're
No,
going
no.
to show up or where.
That's pretty obvious.
We'll have the winner of today's trivia question from last night anyway, Thursday night trivia. According to a recent survey, 63% of people say they do this at least once a week. Want to know what it is? We'll find out who got the answer right. Also, big interview
Yeah.
with Julie Moss.
Yeah, had a chance to talk with her yesterday, and she's going to be speaking at a women's luncheon for the Brighton Chamber later this month. So, fascinating story. You probably have seen Julie Moss at one point. Maybe you don't know who she is, and we're going to find out.
As we crawl
Yeah.
toward that story. See what I did there?
Yeah, I saw.
You see what I did there?
Unfortunately, yes, I did.
All right, first though, a look at local news brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton.
All right, here's what's going on. A proposal by Trinity Health to expand the Trinity Health Medical Center Brighton into a full-service hospital advanced to the next approval stage after a meeting of the Genoa Township Planning Commission Monday night. Formerly known as the St. Joseph Mercy Brighton Health Center, the facility is proposed to become a more than 186,000 square foot, four-story hospital with 72 inpatient beds, an expanded emergency department, surgical services, and potentially a birthing center. By a unanimous vote, the Commission's recommendation moves the plan to final approval by the Township Board, which could come as soon as next month. The proposal originally came to the Planning Commission July 11th, but was tabled over traffic and stormwater concerns. A traffic analysis completed since then indicated no major impact, although there were concerns that remained about making a left turn out of the facility onto Grand River. The motion approved on Monday included language that the amended planned unit development agreement would be reviewed by the township engineering staff and the attorney before it is sent to the township trustees for that final vote. Planning Commissioner Jeff Dehanens told Gigo News that the applicants were able to successfully address the traffic concerns as well as the stormwater retention issues, adding that it really makes sense with the land available and located right in the middle of so many communities. It makes healthcare more accessible, adding that in the township's master plan, that area is considered a medical corridor. An unfulfilled contract will force kids in Fowlerville hoping to play tackle football this season to instead play flag football. Parents of kids playing on 1st through 8th grade recreation teams received an email from league organizers Wednesday informing them that the company hired to recondition and recertify their helmets had failed to fulfill their contract and returned the helmets untouched. WLNS Channel 6 reports that Fowlerville Superintendent Wayne Rodell said they have about 300 kids signed up for tackle football, and because of the snafu, players on those teams will have to play flag football instead. A parent meeting is scheduled for Monday, August 15th at 5:30 to provide parents more details on how the season will work. Monday will also begin a week-long registration-unregistration period in which parents will have the opportunity to decide whether or not to have their child participate or unenroll from the program. And as one busy intersection opens back up, another has closed down. Closed since April 18th for roundabout construction, the 8-mile road, Curry Road intersection at the Lyon Township-Salem Township border recently reopened. But just as quickly, the Road Commission for Oakland County shut down the 9-mile road and Curry Road intersection for construction of another roundabout. It's expected to be closed through mid-October. During the closure, residential access will be maintained via the 8-mile Curry Road roundabout, but Curry Road from 8 to 9 Mile will be closed to traffic until about mid-October for gravel road paving. You got all that?
Nope.
Well, then you go to mikeandjohnpodcast.com for all the details.
That's where you can get it.
Yeah. And that's what's going on.
And it's brought to you by Cooper and Binkley Jewelers in downtown Brighton, Brighton's preeminent jewelry store, with a commitment to customer service, community involvement, honesty, professionalism, and exquisite merchandise. Matter of fact, the whole staff from Cooper and Binkley Jewelers participated once again this year in the annual Day of Caring, the Livingston County United Way.
Very cool.
And shut the store down, helped out the whole day, helped do landscaping, outdoor work at a local home, and that's what they mean by community involvement.
Right.
Just a smidgen of what the Binkleys do here in Livingston
That's
County.
how C&B rolls.
Wow.
C&B.
Now they're C&B. C&BJ.
I probably they probably don't want to be known as C&B. All right, Cooper and Binkley, you're right.
Yes, they do. Plus, they have great merchandise. Their sole purpose of their business is offering unique and exceptional quality jewelry in a nice, warm, engaging environment. So if you're looking for custom designs, the latest offerings from Simon G. and Zagani, Cooper and Binkley Jewelers on Main Street in downtown Brighton. Your first and last stop for that perfect gift or one-of-a-kind item. Browse their selection online, cooperandbinkleyjewelers.com. So back to this flag football thing.
Yes.
If you're registered to play football,
yes,
and then they pull the plug on it because some company couldn't handle their end of the bargain.
Well, they completely ghosted them. I mean, I guess the district sent the rec league sent the helmets back in January. And we're told, we'll have them back weeks before the season begins. And I was like, and they're emailing like, hey, season's coming up. And they're like, don't worry, we're on it. We're just a little behind. And then they just sent them all back. Yeah, we never touched them. Here you go. Bye.
So, but
thanks.
So, all right. now I'm reaching in straws here. But if they've got the equipment, it's just not painted right?
Well, it's not recertified.
Okay,
it has to be
I would think some local...
All the companies that do this are all booked up. And they called around, and the various companies are like, hey, we're booked. We can't do it before your season begins. And you can't start a season with flag football, then switch to tackle. I mean, I understand it's like you gotta commit. It's one or the other. So they're kind of left in a bind. And parents aren't happy, but they should be pissed at this company. So
that just sucks.
Yeah, there you go.
That just sucks.
Flag football.
I'm thinking of,
which is still,
I'm thinking of back in my days as
the mists of time.
Okay, so I played one season of Livonia Parks and Rec football.
Right. Tackle?
Yeah, it was tackle. Okay. I don't even know if they had flag football when we were kids, did they?
Flag football, yeah, they did. Flag football would be something you play if you were like at the Boys and Girls Club, or you were doing like a summer league or something camp? Like that. Yeah. We'll do flag football.
You don't have to tackle.
Fine.
Or we used to play tackle in the yard without pads or anything.
Well, that's true too. You just
we
crash
your
skulls together. I need someone to recertify my skull.
And we're fine.
Yeah. As we sit in a basement, everything went fine.
Everything was good.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't wear a helmet when I rode a bike.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Or any kind of padding, for that matter.
Yeah.
We used to jump creeks on our bikes.
Oh yeah,
we built homemade ramps.
Sure. Absolutely,
and we're fine.
Yeah.
Doing a podcast in the basement.
Pack mud into cuts. This'll stem the flow.
I don't think I ever did a mud pack.
I did.
But I'd be.
Yep.
Okay.
Got home. My mom's like, "What?" Right.
That's gonna get infected. I'll be fine, Mom.
I'm fine, Mom.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Everything's
sure.
good.
The toe's dangling by a flap of skin, but it's got mud in there.
That's right. The mud's holding it
good
together.
Mud. It's got minerals.
They used to build houses out of this stuff. All right. So, in last night's trivia question, 63% of people say they do this at least once a week.
Right.
Now, there was a lot of great answers.
Right.
But it wasn't really something that you do by choice.
Right.
So let's take a look at some of the answers,
right.
Shall we? Did you get this right? By
I
the way?
did not.
All right. I have to click this again. Eat fast food.
Right.
Go grocery shopping.
At least once a week.
Yeah, at least once a week.
Okay.
Drink beer. For some people, that's at least once a day. Order pizza.
Our good friend Rich Perlberg said, "Wake up on a Wednesday morning, once a week." That's his attempt at humor.
Yeah.
Because
Nice
there's
try.
only one Wednesday morning.
Swear at another driver at least once a week. Well, there are some people that are nice drivers.
And
they don't swear.
And as Katie says, from the safety of your own car with the windows closed.
Yeah.
Under your breath. Friggin'.
Go out to lunch, go out to dinner, vacuum, skip breakfast, take a nap, skip a meal,
Right.
order out. All great guesses.
Wash your sheets.
At least once a week.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
Yes, that's like
What do you-
overkill.
well, unless, what do you do when you need to wash your sheets once a week? All right.
Good for you. But 63% of us, probably not.
Oh, yeah.
The answer
Yes, the answer.
was forget what day it is.
Okay.
That's almost once a day for me. It's like,
that's true.
what day is it again today? Oh yeah,
It's
Friday.
kind of day.
That's why I like. That's why I wear a watch, because it has the date and the day of the week. That way, just in case I don't know, I can kind of do that eye slide, looking at my watch, saying, "Yeah, we know it's Friday, right?" Right then. So congratulations to
Who's our winner?
Laura Schicker. Laura Schicker got that one right.
Good job.
So, we'll have our 2-cent history lesson coming up, a chat with the great Bonnie Runyon joining us, and we'll draw our winner for lunch for two at Torch 180. We'll talk to Rhonda and see how those Mike and John Double BS nachos are going.
Absolutely.
If you haven't had any yet, we do recommend it.
And I talked to Rhonda yesterday, and the shirts that we dropped off are gone.
Long gone.
But we're going to do a resupply mission.
All right, resupply mission.
Yeah. So your last chance.
It's kind of like when you were a kid buying cereal to get the prize in the box.
Right. So we're going to resupply them for next week. Right. So next week you'll have some last chances at Mike and John's Summer Splash t-shirts, which, by the way, people overwhelmingly have told us how soft these shirts are.
Yeah, they are very comfortable.
Yeah, they're not scratchy,
No.
crappy
We went top
shirts.
shelf
No,
on
we went,
these
yeah.
things.
Our designer, John A.
Yes. John A. Picked the color and the fabric.
Oh yeah, I went to all the great fashion houses.
A lot of different textile
in
plants.
Paris and picking out the no,
not soft.
That's not
enough
right.
for
No,
our
that's
people.
not right.
Our people like soft. We said.
This is it.
Yeah, he rubbed them all over his
Or
face.
I pointed to one of the catalog. That one.
One of the two.
Absolutely. It's very,
I think we
very
know.
distinct selection process.
I like that one.
Okay.
Can you get it up in that color? Okay, that
Yeah,
works.
but people like them.
Yeah,
So your
no,
last
no.
chance to get those at Torch 180 next week when you buy Mike and John's Double BS nachos. All right. Now, as we alluded to earlier,
top of the show, Julie Moss.
Yeah.
Who is Julie Moss?
Well, she is synonymous with excellence and performance. She had a moment, you might say, back in 1982. We're going to find out more. She's going to have a moment with the Brighton Chamber of Commerce. She's going to be their guest speaker August 31st at the Women's Business Network of Michigan, the event called Attaining Your Own Great Victories. And let's find out more about Julie Moss. You're going to be coming to Brighton and speaking on Wednesday, August 31st at the Brighton Area Chamber of Commerce's Women's Business Network of Michigan. I guess if you can, sort of give us a little sample or an idea of what it is you're going to be talking about.
Well, I think I'm most known for my the first Ironman I ever did back in 1982, and it was and I've since written a book about it called Crawl of Fame, and I literally crawled across the finish line. So I'm known for being the girl who will crawl to get to the finish line. And that race was captured on ABC Wildlife Sports, and it's on YouTube, and it will live forever. And it's considered kind of one of the moments that put the sport of triathlon on the map back in the day. And so when I present, I usually talk about kind of the opportunity that triathlon has afforded me. And there's other ways, of course, to experience this in your life, but to kind of find that way to dig down deep, that part of yourself that is that's unknown until you really have to dig for it. And I'm sort of just in very general terms, it's it's that that ability to test yourself and, to overcome challenges and to realize that depth of your potential. And so that really applies to anything that you do in life. Coming to talk to the women, it's really, I'm in partnership with Ed, and I don't know if you've, if you know about Ed's participation in the Ironman through the Ironman Foundation, raising funds for the Ironman Foundation and participating in Kona this year he'll be racing for the Ironman Foundation.
And we're talking about, it's Ed Pincos, or how do you pronounce his last name?
PN Cause.
PN Cause.
PN Cause, yeah. And so he's your local athlete, and he invited me. We spent time together at the recent World Championship in Utah. It was sort of the 2021's makeup because they couldn't get back to Kona with COVID. So they had a race in Utah, and his girlfriend Doe was racing. He was there as a support person, and I got to spend a lot of time together hanging out all week, and he sort of suggested I come and help him with his campaign, his fundraising campaign in Brighton. So that's kind of the backstory. And so by speaking to these women, I'm really going to be telling them about my experience being, just an average college student who had never done a triathlon, was not a swimmer, biker, or runner. And I saw the Ironman on television. I thought, well, that's the perfect project I need for the senior project to graduate from college. And so I went over, just basically did most of my training 3 weeks before the race, got to Kona and figured out, I hadn't done the distances for the bike or the swim yet. And so I'm just that's really kind of my story, is that you don't have to be a trained, an elite athlete to do something that's pretty challenging athletically. And
well, I think that's interesting. Like you said, that you saw the triathlon or Ironman, and you thought this would be the perfect project. I guess I'm wondering. I don't know that most people would make that connection in their mind.
There were some really good views of good-looking men in Speedos.
Okay, now we understand.
Yeah. That's a little clarity there. No, so it was just kind of a gut reaction. It was like, wow, these hot guys, Hawaii, and then the race started, and then it was sort of like, okay, there's something else going on here, and it was that ability to kind of almost feel their struggle, and the cameras got in close, and you could it stuck with me, and it made no sense. And that's another one of the lessons, the takeaways from that initial Ironman, was that just if something doesn't make sense to you, it seems kind of crazy and out of line, but yet it kind of gets in on a cellular level and you can't shake it. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to those things that really talk to your inner self, the more of the intuitive part of you that is saying. I mean, I was yearning for a challenge like that.
Right.
And it came in that form. It could have been in many different forms, but that's the form it took. And it kind of became a roadmap for my life to sort of lean in and really lean in when things sound crazy and hard, but yet it has to spark my imagination. And
as you said, the ultimate message is about empowerment and never quitting, obviously, as exemplified by your crawl across that finish line. So I guess if you can take us back to that moment where you realize the finish line is coming up, but you're running out of, I imagine you're running out of energy to make it across. Otherwise, yeah. I mean, what's going through your mind when you see that?
Well, it's funny because every time I see it, I think now, like, oh, would I have the courage to dig that deep again? And it was. I didn't know that was, I had the ability to go that far within myself at the time. And then, and now that I do know I can do it, would I want to? But in that first race, I was leading the race, which was complete. That's the other crazy part. I wasn't supposed to be. I was just going to finish it, write it up as a project, and graduate from. I was attending Cal Poly San Luis Obispo in Central California, and graduate and probably go get a teaching credential, and that was going to be it. But what I discovered was that, I had some talent in endurance. And so here I am leading the race, and it's being televised. And then within a half mile of the finish line, like you said, running out of energy, it was a glycogen debt, because I didn't really have any, there wasn't no injury. It just looked pretty bad. My legs went out. They just collapsed.
Right.
And then I couldn't get back up. I mean, it was like I couldn't just sort of say stand up. I had to really kind of go through this whole, emotional roller coaster of being embarrassed, because when my legs gave out, so did everything in my GI. So that was, I'm just suffering, this intense humiliation and this intense desire to get up and finish. I mean, it was pretty crazy. And so the ego had to be put in the back burner, and the desire to finish what I started took over. And so I figured out I could use my arms to form a tripod and stand up. And once I stood up, I could start walking. And then I thought, now I've got to try and finish this thing, but not just finish it, but win it. And I knew another woman was coming. Her name is Kathleen McCartney, and she eventually did catch me, but it took to within about 10 feet of the finish line, and I probably fell about 4 times, getting up, walking, trying to run, falling, getting up, and picturing the streets leading to the finish line of Kona are quiet. I mean, everyone is just quiet around me, and I'm blinded by the TV camera lights, but I just sense all these people who are just kind of urging me on, but it's just kind of, you could hear a pin drop. It was pretty wild. And what was going through my mind was that I had discovered something about myself, and I sum it up saying I discovered my self-worth. I'd always been the girl who took shortcut, the easy way. I didn't really apply myself, just kind of skating along in life, until this moment really asked of me to be somebody different. And so I kind of discovered that as the day was going on, especially in the later parts of the marathon, it was getting harder and harder. And I just discovered this part of myself that was willing to stay in it. Part of it was, I'm winning, and that feels really good. I can be good at something. But the other part of me was just, I had to let go of how it was going to look. It wasn't going to be that picture perfect moment of throwing my arms up in the air across the finish line. I was a mess at the end. And I still felt that kind of that worthiness of finishing what I started, and knowing that I would have that forever if I could just get to the finish line.
Yeah, I guess looking at the video, as you said, I mean, you said it, you're a mess. But it's I guess one way to look at this is victory doesn't always look like what you think it will look like. No. You're right. The classic thing would be, you're right, you break the tape and your arms are raised in victory and everyone's cheering. And yet, looking how you finished this race, I almost feel like this really more exemplifies victory in the sense of overcoming and making that happen. And so being able to apply that as a life lesson is certainly amazing.
Well, yeah, and it took some time to kind of let it all kind of gel for me. Next thing I know, our sport's turning professional. I'm not getting a teaching credential, and I'm going around the world doing triathlons as a professional athlete. That was a ride I never thought I was going to take, and I've been involved with the sport in some form ever since. Now I'm an ambassador for the Ironman Foundation. I'm on the board of the Ironman Foundation. I work with a shoe company, being an ambassador, athlete ambassador manager for Hoka brand of shoes, and I do race announcing and speaking, and I just thought, when's this ride going to end? And it hasn't. And I was fortunate enough to go back and race Kona in 2019, and it was, so the 50th anniversary is right before I will turn 70, and the idea is maybe to go back to Kona, and not to try and grab a spot on the podium, because that has been motivation in the past, but just celebrate this lifestyle, this sport that I've been involved with for 45 years. I won't be at that point. So it's something I say, if you say it out loud, like, I'll want to be there for the 50th running of the Ironman. I was there for my first year was the 5th, and now to go back for the 50th. If you say it out loud, it seems a little less crazy, and you can kind of, you should really sort of invite people to support you on your big challenges. So we'll see. I mean, the body has something to say about this, but those kind of big goals are important to just kind of lay out. And especially as you age, I think you need to find something that sort of keeps you in the youth game. And thinking about doing an Ironman at 70 is going to keep me in a mindset that says, well, I've better do some things all along the way now, because it's coming up in about 5 years, to keep myself strong enough to even think about that.
And so I guess, while maybe competing in an Ironman triathlon, maybe that's not for everybody, but the motivation that you're talking about of whatever your goal is, obviously this helps to drive that internal mechanism. And I guess watching again, and this is just one point in your life, and but that moment when you're crawling across the finish line, I can't help but look at that and not think that, was there a point where you just said, no, I'm done, I'm just gonna quit, or were you just almost instantaneously determined, I'm just not going to quit, I don't care what it takes? The one part that, while I was still leading the race, I was very much trying to hang on to that, because I sort of wrapped a lot of self-esteem around that part of it. But when Kathleen McCartney did pass me, those 20 feet from the finish line, and I did see her go by, I'm on the ground, but I could see her legs go by, there was a moment there where I just, that deep wounding disappointment hit me, and that's when my head just drops, and I can't pick my head up. Right.
And I kind of had to give myself a little pep talk, like, now it's not what you thought it was going to be, messy or joyful, whatever. It's just not the win. So what is this? It's finishing. And it took me, I'm crawling along, and it took me probably a few seconds to kind of just come to that conclusion that this is not failure because I didn't win. This is just about finishing what you start, because I just knew that this is going to be a part of my life. This is going to be the fabric of my life, is knowing how to finish what I start. And it was that was what I was thinking about when I was crawling along. It was like, it's okay.
Right. It's
going to be okay to just finish. And turns out that was kind of what people saw. They saw this determination to finish, and that really is the spirit of an endurance event. It's not about winning. It's about an individual fighting all their demons to get to the finish line.
Wow, and it's a great story, and again, this applies I think in all facets of life, because there's different finish lines for us, professional, personal, and otherwise. And again, Julie Moss will be speaking Wednesday, August 31st at 11:30 a.m. at Oak Point Country Club. This is part of the Greater Brighton Area Chamber of Commerce Women's Business Network of Michigan. And if people want more information, they can contact the Greater Brighton Area Chamber of Commerce, 810-227-5086, or online, brightoncoc.org, to get more information. And Julie, thank you so much for talking with us and sharing this story. Again, your memoir, Crawl of Fame, on Pegasus Books, and I'm sure that can be found wherever books are sold.
Oh, John, thank you so much for having me. And you turned an early morning here in California. I'm kind of stumbling on my words. Thank you so much for just your very eloquent interview.
Oh no, hey, it was easy for me, but. What a great story. Thank you for sharing it with us, and I think we look forward to when you're here on the 31st, and I think people will enjoy hearing your message directly. So, Julie Moss, thank you.
Bye-bye, John.
All right, bye-bye.
Great story. Yeah. You can find out more about Julie at that Women's Business Network. Attaining your own great victories.
Right. August 31st, and, just a fascinating person. And the thing is I had seen that clip before. It was on ABC Wide World of Sports.
I don't know if it was the agony of defeat or the thrill of victory.
It should have been the thrill of victory, because even though technically she came in second and, didn't win.
But the heart that went into finishing.
It really was a win for her. So, and she's made it she's sort of embraced this and made this sort of her lifelong mission, and to talk about, finding that inner strength to complete whatever it is. So in that instance, it was a physical, challenge.
Right.
But whether you have a professional challenge, a personal challenge, whatever it is, it's sort of being able to find that internal motivation to get across the finish line, whether you crawl or not. So again, August 31st, Julie Moss at the Women's Business Network of Michigan. And thank you for
sharing the story.
Yeah, it was great.
Hard to believe that was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
1982.
Yeah. The 80s were just a couple years ago.
I had a moment in 1982.
Didn't you graduate in 1982?
I crawled.
Yeah. Okay.
It was not a pretty
graduation
moment.
party.
It was not a pretty
crawled
moment.
to the ceramic, the porcelain finish line.
I just didn't want to barf on the floor. Just let me. I have to tell you, oh God, I'll never do this again.
Hey, each of us has our own internal goals. Julie's was, I need to finish this race, no matter what.
No, for most of us guys, I need to finish this case.
Yeah.
But not 1982.
Well, no, of course not. So. That would have been illegal and wrong.
Yes, it would. All right. It's time to catch up with the great Bonnie Runyon.
Okay.
Find out what's going on in Runyonville.
What up?
What up? She uses terms like that all the time.
I want to answer.
You want to answer it?
I want to greet her.
All right.
Did I scare you?
What up?
I didn't answer the first ring.
No.
We weren't worried at all.
But Bonnie, you always answer. We never had to go to your voicemail.
Yeah.
We can count on you.
Well, that's what happens when you're an old woman without a wife.
You answer the phone when we call. Oh, somebody's calling. Yeah. So Bonnie, our trivia question today: 63% of people say they do this at least once a week, and the answer was forget what day of the week it is.
Yeah.
What day it is.
Does that happen to you?
That is very true. What really helps keep me on guard is remembering what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
That helps keep me focused. But otherwise, if you're just sitting at home without doctor's appointments or job interviews
or talking with Mike and John on a Friday, so you always know it's a Friday when you talk to us,
That's
right?
true.
There you go.
We help set the week.
You got it.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, every once in a while, it's like, oh, holy crap, tomorrow morning is Friday.
But is it more like, I got to talk to those guys tomorrow morning?
No. Okay. I love harassing you guys. You know that. How many years have I been harassing you?
Many years, Bonnie. Many years.
So I want to ask you, are you going to Melon Fest? Is that a part of your weekend plans?
You know what? It's not, except I remember John and Mike last year saying that they seen a Runyon pickup, old truck going to the parade. And I thought, you know what? I may have to get up there in a corner and see if that happens.
See if there's a Runyon truck?
Yeah.
No, or bring the Runyon truck.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. Now,
my grandson has a truck that I don't know what year it is. It's old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what he has done, the Runyon Brothers construction, on my truck.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got that one on his old truck that looks like it was put there the day he bought the truck.
Really?
Wow.
How some people are savvier than me. I mean, and you could read it, but it looks old.
Yeah, it has that vintage feel to it. Kind of like buying jeans that are already ripped. So Bonnie, maybe we could make that old Runyon truck a Mike and John truck.
Hey.
A podcast mobile.
Maybe.
A pod truck.
Silence.
No.
Silence.
I think that was a pregnant pause for effect, and no, that's not happening.
Stay away from my truck.
All right.
Her grandson's like, no.
So is that just a truck for special occasions, like a parade, or it's not the usual work truck, right?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
They have a dear friend, his name is Condo Don, that got him going on an old truck.
So wait a minute. The guy's name's Condo John.
Condo Don.
Don.
Condo Don.
Okay, Condo
That's
Don.
what I know him as.
Oh, because does he own a condo or?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. They get together in the barn.
They get together in a barn.
You're leaving many questions unanswered, Bonnie.
I'm going over to hang out in the barn with Condo Don.
Hey, Condo Don.
This
Do
doesn't
you
sound-
know? Is his name Don? No.
It's a cool spot.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, now
All
we
right.
know.
Well, now we know. So we'll look for the Runyon truck in the parade,
Yes.
and we'll see if Condo Don's a part of
Well, now wait a minute though. Is it registered to be in the parade? Because you can't just pull in.
I don't have a clue. I
Oh,
don't have
okay.
to know
it.
nothing.
No,
Okay.
he doesn't have to know that. It's just you show up and you're there.
No, I think
No, I'm talking about Bonnie.
I
just showing
meant
up.
Bonnie
The
showing up.
truck.
Of course, I meant in being in the parade. Can't just show up the day. I'm go, hey, I'm going to be in the parade. Move out of the way.
Yeah, you have to get approval to be in the parade.
Move over, Shriners.
Yeah, I mean they didn't. We didn't get approval to be in the parade.
Yeah. Of course,
Well,
we didn't.
file
We didn't
anything
apply,
either,
but
Right.
maybe next year.
we thought about it, and then they said, "Here's a form to fill out." And we're like, "Oh, we don't."
Paperwork, bureaucracy. We
Sorry,
didn't want to do
yeah,
that,
no, we're
so.
not.
Well, Bonnie, enjoy Melon Fest. Have
Yes.
some ice cream, which we were supposed to have on the show this morning, but John didn't bring any down.
All right.
So no, we're not. No.
We're getting ice cream.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
We'll
He's
get it.
messed up. He's messed up 2 days.
I know. This is. I've got to fix this, Bonnie. I'm going to fix it.
2 days in a row. I didn't
Yeah,
get
I'm
mine.
going to fix this.
I don't even really like melon ice cream, but
It's really
I
good.
shouldn't say that.
It's really good.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Mike.
I'd rather have just.
You don't
some-
like it?
I'm
Oh,
not-
it's
no,
Guernsey. It's really, really good.
Well, I like a lot of flavors. I just don't like the flavor of melon.
Okay. Well,
So
it's.
what's your
You
favorite flavor?
I like cinnamon ice cream.
want me to bring down some
Mine is
cinnamon?
just by chocolate.
Chocolate?
Well, yeah, that's the go-to.
Yeah.
I like chocolate, vanilla, and
Sure, sure.
Not just chocolate. No.
Good vanilla.
Yeah.
Like if it's got like real vanilla bean, that's pretty good too.
Well, do you got any of that?
Well, if you talk about what?
I don't think so. I do. Oh, you know what? I do.
You got vanilla bean?
You want me to bring you down
No,
some
we're
Breyer's
not.
vanilla bean?
Oh.
I have a little Breyer's vanilla bean cup for you.
Oh, a little cup.
Yeah.
I told her this present all waiting for his ice
I
cream.
know.
We're going to rectify this.
All right. Bonnie, we will chat with you next week. Maybe we'll see you at Melon Fest tomorrow.
All right, enjoy the parade.
All right, Bonnie.
Thanks. All right, Bonnie Runyon joining us once again on this Friday morning. We have our 2-cent history lesson to get to.
Yes, we
and,
do.
And our big drawing for Torch 180, that
Right.
lunch for two.
We'll be calling Rhonda Callahan at
Just a
Torch
couple
180 here in just a minute.
All right, today, the 12th of August, it's a Friday because it says so on my watch.
Oh, now you know.
It's IBM PC Day. IBM PC Day. I believe the first IBM personal computer went on sale in 1981 on this day.
Wow.
Did you have an IBM PC?
I did not.
Probably
My
pretty big.
first computer was the Commodore VIC-20.
Oh, the Commodore VIC.
Yes.
Does he know Condo Don?
No, I don't think he did.
It's International Youth Day.
Ah.
Celebrate your youth.
Yes. Youth is wasted on the young.
Yes, it is.
They don't know what they're doing, these kids.
Julian Fries Day.
Julianne.
Julian. Well,
Julianne fries.
Julian.
Julianne.
They're French fries.
Yes. They're just cut.
Are they French?
They're just cut.
What's the
different.
difference?
Aren't they like?
Are they Chris cut or I don't even know.
No, they're like slant cut or something.
Like waffle fries?
No, like Julian
It's with an
fries.
Julian fries. Are they thin?
I guess they're thin.
Thin fries.
They're like shoestring fries, I suppose.
Well, that's what I call them. Or potato sticks.
Yeah,
It's Middle
no, I
Child's
thought they were
Day.
more. Yeah, you're right. These are just potato sticks,
Yeah.
like the handicap ones.
No, handicap fries.
The pub fries. Sure.
No.
At our previous place of our employment, they always had those in the vending machine. I was always like, well, I guess I'll take some handicap pub fries.
There's nothing else left in the bin.
Kind of it.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. There's a thing of Halls.
Slim pickings.
Halls, gum, and some pub fries. I guess I'm going
The
pub
fries.
Yeah.
Middle Child's Day and Vinyl Record Day.
Oh, the
Vinyl Record Day. Making kind of a comeback, those vinyl records are.
Spinning the wax.
You know, the thing of it is, the vinyl records that you buy today of, like, say, classic Zeppelin or Motley Crue or something like that, or Nirvana, they're overpriced and they're thin and floppy.
The plastic is,
Yeah.
but it's,
The
well,
vinyl is not
it's
as
more
good a quality.
but it's more durable. Well, that's what you think, but it's supposed to be more durable.
Yeah, but you can't throw it like a frisbee without it wobbling.
That's true. So it's
Yeah,
not,
if you ever-
in that sense, it's not as great.
Yeah.
You're right.
1851 on this day, Isaac Singer received a patent for the sewing machine.
Well,
Thanks, Isaac.
There you go. What I think
Not that Isaac.
No, not on the poop deck. All right.
No, never on the poop deck. 1856, Anthony Fass patented the accordion. Thanks, Anthony.
Thanks, Anthony.
If it weren't for Anthony, there might not have been a polka ever.
No, I don't think there would be.
You know?
Without the accordion. I mean, you kind of wonder how did that come together.
Would Weird Al have had a career?
If only I had like a piano I could strap to my chest,
And play it like
and then
this.
and I'll just push it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was,
You know anybody that can play the accordion?
No.
All right, we're putting it out there. If anyone knows how to play the accordion,
Hey,
let us know so we can have you on the podcast.
and maybe you could do our theme
via accordion.
via accordion. Although you'll have to clear it copyright through our
Through Susan.
our song mistress,
Yeah.
Cougar, aka Susan.
Or is it
Versus Susan, aka Cougar. We haven't quite figured that out.
1865 on this date, just 9 years after the patent for the accordion, disinfectant was used for the first time during a surgery.
I love how you've connected these two things.
Just 9 years.
Just 9 years after
just
the
9 years after.
accordion was patented.
It was a finger injury on the accordion.
Someone figured out, hey, we should probably wash our hands before we stick them inside your body. Hey, good idea.
Disinfectant, and the surgeon, Joseph Lister.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe
From
Lister.
Listerine.
Yeah.
By the
Which, it was like, hey, you can rinse your hands with this and your mouth.
way, Lister, by the way,
Listerine.
was considered a nut job by the medical community when he came up with this idea of like, hey guys, we have germs on our hands and we put them inside body, we bring them in there.
we don't.
Yeah, exactly. They ran him out of the profession and he died in an insane asylum. So
Wow.
yeah, true story.
Was he sanitized?
I guess
Was it
I
the
don't
sanitarium?
know. So there you go.
Wow.
Fun story.
I don't know about fun.
Yeah, well.
Thomas Edison in 1877 invented the phonograph and made the first sound recording. Thus, final record day, don't you think? Although his was
Wax.
wax
Yeah,
tubes,
kind of
but
wax
still.
cylinders. You can see at Greenfield Village.
Spinning the
There was
stacks of
a
wax.
display.
Yeah.
Mary had a little lamb. Mary had a little lamb.
Mary had a little lamb.
She's as white as snow.
What was Mary doing with that lamb?
Eating it. Mint jelly, please.
I get a side of mashed potatoes. Hey, make some butter. We're in Greenfield Village, for God's sake.
That lamb was pretty good.
Mickey Mantle in 1964 set a major league record when he hit home runs from both the left and right sides of the plate in the same game. It's like, yeah, I did it from the left side and the right side. What more do you want out of me?
Kind of a show off,
You
though.
think so?
Don't you think? I mean, obviously he had the goods to back it up.
Sure.
I'm just,
You think he walked back into the dugout and said, okay, Musial, your turn. Or, Musial wasn't even on the same team.
I don't think so. But oh, sure, you can bat from the left and
Ruth.
right.
Hey,
how
Ruth.
about behind the plate?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Stand
How about
directly
playing
behind
it like
the plate.
croquet, All
All right, now do it
Between
behind
the
your
legs.
back, okay?
At a news conference in Chicago in 1966, John Lennon publicly apologized for his "Beatles are more popular than Jesus" statement. And it went like this: "I'm sorry."
Yeah. Actually, the apology was more like, I mean, the whole thing was blown out of proportion, but if you go watch the actual apology, the apology is sort of like, it really runs like this, more or less. "I'm sorry that you're idiots." That was kind of the apology. It was sort of a backhanded apology.
Wow, that wasn't very nice, John Lennon.
Well, like I said, they took it out of context.
A year later, after John Lennon's apology, Fleetwood Mac played their first concert. 1967.
Wow. That's pre Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
Stevie Nicks.
On CBS. Why Brent Mussberger is announcing Stevie Nicks, I don't know.
Wouldn't you love to hear Brent Mussberger introduce Stevie Nicks? No, Stevie Nicks.
And then have Keith Jackson call the concert.
Hello again, everybody.
Oh, hello again, everybody. Here comes Stevie Nicks with all her
Rumble.
bandanas. Oh, she got lots of scarves today, everybody. Oh, Nelly.
She believes in witchcraft.
Oh, Nelly. Oh, a lot of cocaine's gone up that nose.
Wow. All right, if you want terrible impersonations. Henry Padavani.
Yes.
Henry Padavani. Do you know who Henry Padavani
I don't, but you're going to tell me.
Henry Padavani was a guitarist with the Police who quit the group on this day in 1977 after just being in the band for 9 months. He was a lead guitarist. He quit the band, left them as a trio. He's probably thinking, probably shouldn't have done that. It wasn't really a good career move.
Well, you know, you make decisions.
Probably wasn't a good career move to quit that band.
You know, McLean Stevenson, for instance. And you go, you know what? This MASH thing is fading.
Yeah,
I've got bigger things to do, like Hello, Larry.
Goodbye, career.
Goodbye, career. Exactly.
And finally, in 2015, a second postage stamp was issued by the U.S. bearing the image of Elvis Presley. The first one was introduced in 1993. This one featured a black and white photograph by William Spear. It's Elvis in 1955.
Yes, the young Elvis.
It was part of the Music Icon series that began in 2013.
Wow.
So
Okay.
they said, okay, we got the old Elvis stamp. Now we need a new Elvis stamp
sure.
to sell more stamps.
Well, right.
For stamp collectors.
Of course.
That's your 2-cent history lesson
All right.
for today.
All right, get Rhonda on the phone.
I'm getting Rhonda.
While you call, I'm going to go get our ice cream.
We can't talk to Rhonda and eat ice cream.
Well,
at
you
the same
get
time.
it going.
I've
got to fulfill this ice cream order.
I guess so. He's the ice cream man. Catch him as he's walking by.
Stop it when you pass me by.
You go get the ice cream. Oh gosh.
Good morning.
Hey Rhonda, it's Mike, and well, not John at the moment. He's getting ice cream as we speak. All right, because we're getting our Melon Fest ice cream on during the show today. So, how are the Mike and John double BS nachos going at Torch
They're
180?
going well.
Yeah.
We've had people coming in just specifically for them.
Was it for them or for the shirts? Let's be honest.
I think it was maybe both.
Both? Okay. It's like getting the freebie with the meal.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
All right. So we are going to replenish the stock
All right.
for next week.
Cool.
All right. To help generate more sales there at Torch 180.
There you go.
All right. So what's
More
going?
of the BBS nachos.
Loving that. So what's going on at Torch this week at Torch 180?
We just have had a lot of really interesting discussions around here, and it kind of had something on my mind this morning. I hope you don't mind. It's not really about a restaurant or anything. It's more about people who have autism.
Okay.
And some of the insights that the students have given me this past week. We do a lot of discussion on talking about soft skills, which are how you interact with the world.
I'm your ice cream man. Stop me when I pass you by.
I'm talking with Rhonda.
Oh, hi, Rhonda.
Hi.
Wait a minute.
Are you enjoying your ice cream?
Well, John brought down.
You said you didn't want any.
I didn't really want any of the melon ice cream.
Right.
So you said you'd bring me a little Breyers
Yeah.
natural vanilla ice cream in a little cup.
Yeah.
And you didn't bring me a spoon.
Oh, right.
I guess I got to lick it out
Wait,
of the
is
cup.
there a spoon in there?
No.
Oh.
This isn't one.
That was one that had little wooden spoons in it, but I guess you're right.
I guess I don't get my ice cream. All right, so back to the discussion about autism.
Okay, so I think that maybe I'm more sheltered and just don't think that like bullying and stuff like that still happens.
Yeah.
But I have had multiple students tell me just within the past couple of weeks that how much they like it here because they feel so safe. And when I've probed a little deeper, like, what do you mean by safe? It's like, well, people out there are not nice to you if you act differently.
Right.
Yeah.
And we spend so much time working on how do you communicate and how do you be respectful when you maybe don't feel respectful, or sometimes people come across and they sound like they're really mad, but they're not, and things like that. And so we work on those things, but it's always been my goal, like, not to rob them of the unique parts of their personalities. But again and again, they're telling me that those are the things they don't like because they don't fit.
Yeah.
And one young man, I don't think people realize this, and so I'm just like on this crusade. I want to educate the world. You can have autism and have a very high IQ, but present as if you don't. And so one young man was telling me he had walked to the grocery store and he was walking home, and all of a sudden these kids began to yell at him and call him fat and throw rocks at him and stuff. And he tried to run away, but then he said that just made it worse because they were laughing at how he was running. And he was really scared. And I think that they assumed he really wasn't aware of what was going on, but it impacted him very deeply. And he was very, very hurt that people would do that. And I said, you can call the police if something like that's happening and you're that frightened. And he said, I just don't like to be a person who causes trouble in the world. And I was like, I just don't like to be a person who knows that this stuff still goes on, because I guess I just kind of thought we could move past it.
Well, with all the discussions and the way we try to present that, we're anti-bullying, there are those that kind of thrive on that kind of stuff, unfortunately. And this young man had to experience that, and that's unfortunate.
I also think that there's a bit of a nostalgia, I think, sometimes, of older generations who remember back to their time in school and whether they were quote unquote bullied or were the bullies, and they look back on it almost nostalgically, and sadly to say, or they go, oh, it's all just part of growing up. Hey, that's how kids learn. And you're like, I don't know. I don't think so.
But I mean, I'm talking, this is a man. I mean, he's in his mid-20s.
But that's what I'm saying. People don't take it seriously. They don't see it as a serious problem because they have this, I don't know, this rose-colored glasses version of it where they just say, get over it. I don't know. People just tend to, I think, dismiss it because it's an uncomfortable subject. And they don't take it seriously. And you're right. Whether you're a kid or an adult, I mean, it's unfortunate that we seem to be living in a time in a society where that's almost, I don't want to say condoned, but it's certainly not forcefully rejected.
Yeah.
Right. It's just dismissed.
Well, I don't know what anybody gets out of it,
When they think of being bullied, I mean, sometimes I'll hear people talk about, oh, we're persecuted or whatever. We're not in the United States. No, we're not being persecuted here. We don't even know what that's like. And I think people think they got teased some in school, and they don't realize how hateful bullying can be and how damaging it is. And then you've got these individuals who are trying so hard to try to do the right things to fit in.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't know. I just wish we could be more understanding
of other
people.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to inclusion. And unfortunately, that word, I mean, how does the word inclusive become a negative? And unfortunately, it has. Because an inclusive view of the world is not everybody sees the world like I do. Not everybody experiences the world like I do. And having the respect that somebody else's point of view, their life, their, experience is not the same as mine, and it doesn't make it any less worthy than mine is. And I think some people just tend to have a very my view of the world is this is my experience of life, and if you don't fit this very narrow band, then you're weird. And you're like, maybe you're weird.
I think it is that where people do have their vision of the world and think everybody else should have it that way. And if they don't, then they're just not a part of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And why you have to be, it's one thing to have that point of view But to turn on somebody else because they don't, it can be with politics or sports teams you like or movies you like, whatever it is.
Or people with disabilities. Yeah.
Right. Or, and I think it comes down to, and Rhonda, I'm sure you can talk about this better than we can, but I think it's the understanding or the ability to have empathy. And that empathy is different than sympathy. And this is the thing. Being able to empathize with someone is, in a sense, putting yourself in their shoes. I mean, that's a very simple way to say it. But being able to empathize is to say, all right, well, wait a minute. I have this experience in this worldview, but that's just mine. Let me try and think about how this person views the world. Maybe let me think about how they experience the world. And having that kind of empathy, that's what I think we're lacking a lot of now, is the ability to empathize with others.
Right. We don't try to practice it. People don't try to practice it. But I think I feel bad because I've been around this population for such a long time.
Right.
And then when I'm hearing these things now, I'm like, you guys, I can't even envision myself as an adult making fun of someone else or just
it's sad.
At them.
It's sad and it's infuriating, honestly.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, I think, the silver lining in this is you do have a safe place for these people and an accepting environment. So just keep that up, and hopefully that will have some kind of domino effect, not only for them in-house there at Torch 180, but out on the streets and out in everyday life.
Well, you and the mission that you've created, I think, serves as an example for others, and so that gets passed along. And you're right, wherever we can, whenever we can, if we can create these safe spaces, these inclusive safe spaces like Torch 180, we should, and hopefully more people will.
And I think even having conversations like this and trying to educate people. When customers come in, I often will talk to them about the struggles that most of us who aren't dealing with these situations are totally unaware of that are happening. And so I'm trying, I try, and it was just really on my mind because it came up multiple times this past week, largely because we're discussing, how much do you have to give up of you to fit in and that type of stuff. So.
Deep breath, Rhonda.
Well, it sounds like
work,
I know you work with people that have these developmental disabilities, but it sounds to me like there's a lot more people that could gain a lot more from going through a Torch 180 class,
or just volunteering, and helping out just to see what it's like.
To just get that point of view. So. And we're proud. I mean, all jokes aside or whatever, I mean, we are proud to be associated with you personally and with Torch 180 as an organization. What you guys do in the community is it is so valuable. We're honored, honestly, to have any kind of connection with the mission that you guys are carrying out. So thank you for being a part of it, and thank you for bringing that perspective to our podcast, because we need it. We like to have fun, but we should also keep in mind these larger issues, and thank you for doing that. All right, time to give away lunch.
Yes, lunch for two.
Let's do something fun. All right.
All right, here we
lunch
go.
For two. We do recommend Mike and John's Double BS Nachos.
Yeah, we do.
And that free T-shirt that comes with it.
Right, we're going to resupply you with the free T-shirts.
I covered that while you were eating your
I'm
ice
sorry.
cream.
Well, I was getting the ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mine's going to melt by the time this is done because I have no spoon.
In my mind, I thought there was like a wooden spoon in there.
He's thinking of
Just
himself.
drink it then.
I know.
Okay, whatever. All right, congratulations to Jade Hodge.
Jade Hodge.
Jade Hodge. Do you know Jade?
Congratulations. I do know Jade.
Oh, okay, good. Jade Hodge, congratulations. Got lunch for two at Torch 180.
Awesome.
All right.
Rhonda, as always, we appreciate what you do, and you on the podcast too. And like John said, we'll have some more T-shirts coming your way for next week.
Love it. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
All right, Rhonda,
All right.
Thanks again. Rhonda Callahan from Torch 180 in Fowlerville. Stop by, get your lunch, and enjoy a great meal and a great experience if you've never been there before.
Exactly. And speaking of great experiences, should you need garage door repairs, replacements, firehouse doors, they're the place to call. They've been serving Livingston County for more than 24 years. Family-owned, veteran-owned. They're your one-stop shop for residential, commercial, and rolling steel overhead door needs. And for the past 21 years, Firehouse Doors has been Livingston County's only authorized distributor for CHI overhead doors. Call Firehouse Doors today, 810-599-7480.
Don't forget, Saturday at Melon Fest.
Saturday.
You'll see us. We might even see you.
Yeah.
At
Maybe.
Melon Fest.
We could be looking down at you. or at you. I don't mean we're looking down our nose. I'm just saying.
Wow, look at you.
We could be at a height.
We
We
might
could be
up
up and, like let a physical thing.
there. Yeah, we got a drone.
Depending. So
We got a hovercraft.
we got a hot air balloon.
Yeah. No, we don't.
We have a Zeppelin.
We got a lot of hot air.
Oh, yeah. Well, that we have.
But it's going to be fun this weekend at Melon Fest. So we
Keep
hope to
your
see
eye
you.
open for the Mike and John
Got it going on.
thing. Whatever
there.
that is. It's, you'll see it. When you see it,
You'll know it. Yes,
Yeah.
you will.
All right.
All right,
Also,
Melon Fest.
yeah, at Melon Fest, yeah, the parade 10 to noon on Saturday, and keep your eye open for the Mike and John experience. That's what we're calling it. Well, that's what I'm calling it.
Why did you go into like
The experience. The Liam Neeson voice. I will find you. We will find you.
I'm getting scared.
You will find us.
Hey, if you're looking for a job, Murphy's Family Auto is hiring office help, porter service, an advisor type job. Pay is based on your skill level and experience. For more details, call Murphy's Family Auto 517-552-3040 or stop by and apply in person.
They're now open Saturdays 8 to 1.
Saturday. Tell Mike and John sent you get 5% off your bill.
Murphy's Family Auto. Your car knows. Murphy'sFamilyAuto.com.
End it, will you? We've gone into real cheap.
What are you talking about
today?
No.
Mike and John got it going on.
You've been giggling with Mike and John. Tune in next time and giggle on.
All right.
There will be no post show today because I'm
Oh,
going
no.
to eat my melted ice cream.
There's post show.
All right. This is it.
I'm eating my melon ice cream.
I'm making a spoon out of the cap.
There you go.
Look
Perfect.
at that. This is how you have to do it when you're out in the wilderness and you don't want your ice cream to melt.
Or your podcast partner is too stupid to bring you a spoon.
That's pretty good. I don't think I've had ice cream for breakfast in a long time.
This ice cream is so good. I mean, it's really, really good. You wouldn't think. You'd say melon, that's a weird flavor to have for an ice cream, but they do it just right.
I think there's more vanilla than melon in that. It just has a hint of color.
No, it's got good melon flavor. You want to lick the
Get a
bowl?
seed? No, I don't want the bowl. I'm having a hard enough time with my makeshift spoon. Do you want to lick the bowl?
Yes.
You want to be left alone with your bowl?
Turn the light out. Leave me alone. Don't look at me.
All right. We're out of here.
Yeah,
We'll see you
end
at
it.
Melon Fest. See you Monday.